You are watching the long-range scope. It's a quiet Tuesday on Ganymede Listening Post. The coffee is synthetic but warm. The chair is surprisingly comfortable for military grade. And on the main screen, Earth hangs like a blue marble, a perfect jewel in the deep black. You take another sip of coffee. Your watch is almost over. Then you will grab some real food. Maybe that new noodle bar that opened on level 3. You glance back at the scope. Your heart stops. The coffee cup slips from your hand. It clatters on the metal deck plate. But you do not hear it. You only hear the ringing in your ears. Because the screen is wrong. It is impossibly wrong. Where the blue marble once hung, there is only blackness. An absolute, perfect, and terrifying blackness. Earth is gone. One moment, it was the vibrant heart of humanity. The next, it was nothing. Not an explosion, not a flare of dying light. It did not shatter into a million pieces. It simply vanished. You check the system diagnostics. Everything is green. The scopes are functioning perfectly. You run them again and again. The result is the same. Nothing. Just an empty patch of space. Your hands tremble as you key in the alert. A red light flashes across the station. Sirens begin to scream through the corridors. Your comm crackles to life. The sector commander's voice is sharp with disbelief. He demands a report. You open your mouth to speak, but no words come out. You just point a shaking finger at the screen, at the empty space where your home used to be. You stare at the readings. They make no sense. The void where Earth should be is perfect. Too perfect. There is no radiation, no lingering energy signature, no expanding cloud of dust or gas. Every instrument you point at that emptiness reports the same impossible thing. Nothing. It is a hole cut out of the universe, a wound in space-time itself. The star charts confirm it. The gravitational constant of the system is wrong now. The sun wobbles slightly in its cosmic dance. The orbits of Mars and Venus are already beginning to shift. They are adjusting to a new and empty center of gravity. The math is cold and brutal. The planet is not just gone. It is as if it never existed at all. Your science teams are losing their minds. They argue in frantic whispers in the labs. They scribble equations on every available surface. They are trying to find a law of physics that explains this. But there is none. A star can go supernova. A world can be shattered by an asteroid. But for a planet to just be erased, it violates everything we know about star science. You feel a cold dread creep into your soul. This was not a natural event. Nature is violent and chaotic, but it is not clean. It leaves a mess. This was precise. It was surgical. It was an act of impossible power performed by an unknowable hand. Something took your world. Something reached into your system and plucked it from existence like a weed. Days turn into a week of staring into the void, a week of listening to the silence. Then, something changes. A whisper. It is a tiny flicker on your most sensitive instruments, a ghost of a signal from the empty space. It is so faint you almost dismiss it as sensor noise. But it is there, and it is repeating. It is not a language you recognize. It is not math. It is not a pulsar or a quasar. It is a structured signal. It has a pattern, a cadence. It feels ancient, like an echo from the beginning of time. But it is coming from the here and now, from the exact coordinates where 8 billion souls lived and died. Or did not die. You do not know which is worse. The signal repeats every 107 minutes. It is a patient, rhythmic pulse in the darkness. It seems to call out into the cosmos. It is not a distress call. It does not sound desperate. It sounds like a statement, a declaration, or maybe an invitation. The teams work around the clock to decode it. They find nothing. It is a lock without a key. You sit in the command chair, listening to the whisper. It gets under your skin. It haunts your sleep. It feels like a taunt, a message left at a crime scene, a clue from a ghost. Every beat of the signal is a reminder of your loss, and a spark of something new. Something cold and hard and dangerous. A reason. The news of Earth's disappearance spreads like a shock wave. It travels at the speed of light to every human outpost. To the miners on Mars, to the farmers on Europa, to the deep space explorers in their lonely ships. At first, there is only shock. Then a tidal wave of grief that unites every scattered human. Billions of voices cry out in unison, and then fall silent. The silence that follows is different. It is not the silence of sorrow, it is the silence of the forge, the silence before the hammer falls. Grief is a fire, and in that fire, humanity is remade. The petty squabbles between colonies die. The corporate rivalries evaporate. There are no more factions. There is only us, the orphans of a stolen world. From every corner of the system, ships begin to move. Miners weld armor plates to their haulers. Freighters mount railguns to their spines. Exploration vessels arm their survey drones. They are slow. They are clumsy. They are not warships. But they are all we have. They gather in a ragged fleet in the shadow of Jupiter, a fleet born of loss and rage. You watch them arrive on the main viewer. 100 ships, 1,000 ships, the last remnants of your species. Their captains patch into your command channel. You see their faces, hardened by work, haunted by loss, but their eyes burn with a single, cold purpose. They do not want answers. They want revenge. They are a weapon waiting to be aimed. You stand before the Council of Captains. The air in the briefing room is thick with anger. They want to lash out, to burn something, to find an enemy and make them pay. You understand the feeling. It burns in your own heart. But you know that blind rage is a luxury you cannot afford. You need a direction, a target. You play them the signal, the faint, rhythmic whisper from the void. You tell them what you believe, that this is not a random echo. It is a breadcrumb, a trail left by the thing that took your home. It is the only lead you have in a universe that has suddenly grown vast and hostile. To follow it is a leap of faith. The captains are skeptical. They are practical people, miners and traders and engineers. They believe in solid things, in ore deposits and engine specs, not in ghost signals and desperate hopes. They argue, they shout. They want a tangible enemy, something they can see and shoot, not a whisper in the dark. A few of them think you've gone mad with grief. But you hold your ground. You look them in the eyes. You speak of Earth, of the blue skies and green fields they remember, of the home they can never return to. Your voice does not shake. It is filled with a certainty that surprises even you. You tell them this is the only path, not to revenge, but to justice. Slowly, one by one, they begin to nod. The hunt is on. Your fleet tears through the fabric of space-time. The journey is long and silent. The ghost signal is your only guide. It pulls you deeper into unknown territory. Far from the familiar stars of home, you pass strange new suns. You see wonders no human has ever seen. But there is no joy in it. Your journey has only one purpose, one destination. The signal grows stronger. The whisper becomes a clear voice. It still makes no sense, but it is undeniably real. It leads you to a place of impossible beauty, a cluster of stars woven together like a tapestry of light. At its center is a structure so vast it defies belief, a sphere of crystalline material that seems to hold a galaxy within it. It hums with a power that makes your teeth ache. Then they appear. Their ships are not made of metal. They look like creatures of living light. They move with an elegance that is both beautiful and terrifying. They surround your clumsy fleet without a word. Your weapons are locked. Your shields are raised. Every human heart pounds in anticipation of a fight. But no fire comes. A voice fills your mind. It is not spoken in words. It is a wave of pure understanding. It is calm. It is ancient. It is utterly and terrifyingly indifferent. It identifies them as the curators, the architects of the great sphere, and then it confirms your darkest fear. They are the ones who took your world. They admit it as easily as you would admit to breathing. The curators show you the truth. They do not bring you aboard their ships. They simply alter your perception. Suddenly you are standing on a green field, under a familiar blue sky. You see birds you recognize from childhood books. You smell the scent of rain on dry soil. You are on Earth. But it is not the Earth you left behind. It is a perfect copy, a snapshot. The curator's mental voice explains. It is without emotion. It is the voice of a collector describing a specimen. They are not conquerors. They are librarians, preservers. They travel the galaxy, collecting worlds. They identify species with potential. And just before those species face a great filter, a threat that would surely destroy them, the curators act. They take the planet. They store it. They preserve it in a perfect, timeless state. They show you other worlds, thousands of them, each one a jewel floating in an endless, starlit gallery. You see planets of soaring crystal spires, worlds of vast, sentient oceans. You see the homes of countless species, all saved, all preserved, all prisoners in a gilded cage. They call it the Great Work, a museum of stolen lives. They tell you it was Earth's turn. They detected an approaching threat, an enemy so absolute that your survival was calculated at zero. So they took you. They saved you. They believe they have done you a kindness, a great service. They cannot understand your rage. To them, your anger is like a child screaming in a hospital, crying out against the very medicine that saves its life. Your explanation is cut short. An alarm blares through the curator's mental network. It is a sound of cold, disciplined panic. A single enemy vessel has breached their outer perimeter. It is a scout ship. But the way the curators react, it might as well be an armada. Their perfect calm shatters. They show you an image of the intruder. It is not a ship, not in any way you understand. It is a patch of absolute wrongness, a sliver of uncreation moving through space. It does not reflect light. It consumes it. The stars behind it do not just disappear. They seem to unravel. The fabric of reality itself frays at its edges. It is a creature of pure entropy, an entity of nothingness given form and purpose. The curators prepare their instruments. They ready their long-range sensors. They are a race of observers. They will watch. They will record. They will analyze the scouts' every move. They will gather data on the enemy that threatens the galaxy. This is their way. They have done it for 1,000,000 years. They study the storm. They do not fight it. But you are not an observer. You are human. You see the unmaker, the thing that caused your world to be stolen. And you feel that cold, burning rage return. You turn to the silent, watching curators. You tell them you are not here to be a specimen. You are not an exhibit to be studied. You are going to fight. Your fleet, your ragged band of orphans, is going to hunt. The curators protest. They call your plan suicide. They say your technology is primitive. Your ships are fragile. Your understanding of the enemy is non-existent. To attack is illogical. It is irrational. It is, in their words, deeply human. They do not try to stop you. They simply withdraw their ships of light. They will give you a wide berth to perform your final, pointless act of defiance. You give the order. Your fleet, all 1,000 rust bucket ships, moves as one. You do not attack the Entropy Scout head-on. That would be foolish. You do what humans have always done. You cheat. You use your numbers. You use your desperation. You split your fleet into 100 small wolf packs. You come at it from every angle at once. The Scout is confused. It was prepared for a conventional battle, a duel between warships. It was not prepared for a swarm of angry insects. Your mining ships launch clouds of explosive ore charges, not to destroy it, but to blind its sensors. Your freighters eject their cargo containers, creating a debris field of pure chaos. Your little science vessels broadcast every frequency at once, a shriek of raw data to deafen it. Then, your armed ships strike. They do not fire elegant energy beams. They fire solid slugs of metal. They fire crude nuclear missiles. They ram it with drone ships packed with explosives. It is ugly. It is brutal. It is savage. And it works. The creature of entropy, this elegant sliver of nothing, is overwhelmed by the sheer, messy violence of it all. It falters. It begins to break apart, not into pieces, but into fading whispers of what it once was. Until it, too, is gone. The battle is over in minutes. The silence that follows is deafening. Your fleet is battered. You have lost ships. You have lost people. But you have won. You stare at the empty space where the Scout was. You have punched the void in the face, and the void blinked. You have done the impossible. Then the curators return. Their ships of light surround you once more. But this time, the feeling is different. The cold indifference is gone. In its place is something new, something you never expected to feel from these star-born gods. Awe. Their mental voice fills your mind again. But now it is not the voice of a collector. It is the voice of a strategist who has just witnessed a miracle. They show you their calculations. Their projections for your attack had your chance of survival at less than 1%. They had watched, expecting to record your final moments for their archives. A tragic but fascinating footnote in their great work. But you did not follow their script. You did not fight with honor or logic. You fought with rage and cunning. You fought like cornered animals. And you won. Their entire philosophy is shaken. For eons, they have believed that preservation was the only answer to the great enemy. The only way to save life was to hide it. But you have just shown them another way. Not preservation, not retreat, but war. Your savage logic has changed their ancient calculations. In your ferocity, they now see the galaxy's only hope. The alliance is not forged with treaties or promises. It is forged in the silent understanding of a shared enemy. The curators do not see you as equals. Not yet. They see you as a weapon, a unique and powerful tool that they have just discovered. And they intend to sharpen it. They offer you their knowledge. They open their archives to you. 1 billion years of star science, the secrets of gravity manipulation, the art of folding space-time, the engineering of materials that can withstand the heart of a star. It is a flood of information so vast it threatens to drown your brightest minds. Their technology is elegant. It is precise. It is like art. But your engineers do not just copy it. They adapt it. They merge the curator's starlight with human steel. They take the sophisticated gravity drives and bolt them to your rugged, overbuilt freighters. They learn to weave space-time shields and project them from crude, powerful reactors. They do not build beautiful ships of light. They build hammers. The curators watch this process with a mixture of horror and fascination. You are taking their perfect, elegant theories and turning them into brutal, practical weapons. You are not interested in understanding the symphony of the cosmos. You just want to build a louder drum, and you are doing it with a speed and ingenuity that baffles them. You are preparing for a war they thought was unwinnable. With their knowledge comes a deeper understanding of the enemy. The curators show you the truth, and it is far worse than you imagined. They call them the Silence, because that is what they leave behind. They are not an empire. They have no territory. They do not conquer worlds for resources or living space. They are a force of cosmic correction, or so they believe. They are from another reality, a universe of perfect order and stillness. To them, our universe of life and change and chaos is a mistake, a flaw in creation that must be erased. They do not kill. Killing implies life was once there. They unmake. They reach into a system and edit it out of existence. They sever its connection to the fabric of space-time. The world, and everyone on it, ceases to have ever been. This is why Earth vanished without a trace. It was not destroyed. It was deleted. The Silence did not just take your home. They erased your history. Your species now exists only in the memories of those who were off-world. You are a people without a past, orphans in the truest sense of the word, the ultimate refugees. You learn that the scout you fought was just that, a scout, a single feeler sent out by a much larger force. A fleet of unmaking is moving through the galaxy, erasing star systems one by one. The curators have tracked its path for centuries, watching from a safe distance, adding more specimens to their museum before the Silence arrives. They have been running and hiding. But now, with you as their weapon, the running is over. You need a plan. You cannot fight their fleet head-on. Even with the curators' technology, you are still outnumbered and outmatched. The Silence is a force of nature. You cannot stop a hurricane, but you can set a trap. You can use their own nature against them. You study the curator's star charts. You look at the path of the approaching enemy fleet, and you find a choke point, a place where they must pass. The Crimson Nebula. It is a treacherous graveyard of newborn stars and collapsing gas clouds. It is filled with gravitational anomalies and radiation storms. No sane fleet would ever enter it. The curators confirm this. Their own ships avoid the nebula. The Silence, with its orderly and predictable nature, will also steer clear. They will go around it. Their logic demands the safest path. But you are not going to rely on their logic. You are going to rely on their arrogance. You are going to give them a reason to enter the storm. Your plan is simple and insane. You will take the curators' most powerful gravity emitters, the very technology they use to move worlds, and place them deep within the nebula. You will use them to create a fake signal, a lure. You will simulate the energy signature of 1,000 stolen worlds. A prize so tempting, so full of disorderly life, that the Silence will not be able to resist. They will come to erase it, and you will be waiting for them in the chaos. The curators call your plan madness. They run the calculations. The energies inside the Crimson Nebula are too volatile. Your control over the gravity emitters will be unstable at best. The chance of the trap working as intended is low. The chance of it backfiring and destroying your own fleet is high. They present you with the data. A 1% chance of success, a 99% chance of total annihilation. They urge you to reconsider, to run, to take your fleet and hide in some forgotten corner of the galaxy, to live. They argue that survival is the most logical choice. But you are no longer the person who watched Earth vanish on a scope. You are no longer just a survivor. You have seen the enemy. You have seen what they do. And you know that running is not living. You look at the cold, hard numbers on the screen. 1%? You think of the green fields of Earth, the home you can only see in the curator's museum. You think of the 8 billion people who never existed. You think of your ragged fleet of miners and traders who became soldiers overnight, who followed a ghost signal into the dark because it was the only hope they had. You turn to the waiting curators. Their forms of light shimmer with logical distress. You tell them that for a species that has lost everything, for a people who are already ghosts, a 1% chance is not an obstacle. It is an invitation. It is a promise. It is more than enough. A flicker of something that is not quite logic, but perhaps respect, shines back at you. Your fleet arrives at the edge of the Crimson Nebula. The view is breathtaking and terrifying. It is a swirling chaos of red and purple clouds, lit from within by the fires of infant stars. It looks like a fresh wound in the side of the galaxy. This is your battlefield, your fortress, your tomb, or your forge. The gravity emitters are in place. Your ships are hidden within the densest clouds. Your crews are at their stations. Their faces are grim, but their eyes are steady. The fear is there. You can feel it. But beneath the fear is that same cold, hard fire that brought you all here. That rage that was forged in the moment your world was stolen. You are no longer the scattered orphans of a dead world. You are not a museum piece to be preserved. You are a fleet. You are an idea. The insane, savage logic that the silence cannot compute. You are the error in their perfect system, the chaos they want to erase. You are humanity, and you have come here to teach the silence a lesson about storms. You give the final order. Light the fuse. Deep within the nebula, the trap is sprung. The energy signature of 1,000 stolen worlds blooms into existence, a feast for the hungry void. The enemy will see it. They will turn. They will come. You look out at the swirling crimson clouds. You are waiting for them. You are the storm.